This is Alan coming to you from my beautiful office in Vancouver. It's Thursday, May 11th, and I promised to talk about GMO. And GMO is kind of one of my favorite little name terms. It stands for genetically modified organisms. I think most people think it just applies to fruits and vegetables or grains. It actually applies to any living thing. We don't think about things that are genetically modified because I think it actually should stand for generally made ordinary, because we have things in our diet that have been around for 100 years, we've eaten them forever, and we don't look at where they came from and their background, and we think they're local and they're grown here and then they're fine. And genetically modified just became a term of contention a few years ago with corn and soybeans, which are big, huge crops, and people got concerned about this genetically modified. So there was a term used in the agriculture industry for years and years and years called domesticated. And what does domesticated mean? Well, domesticated means that it's been adapted to the environment to grow. So tomatoes are domesticated to North America. They're not native to North America. When our ancestors came here, they did not find tomato plants growing anywhere. They didn't find wheat. They didn't find actually any of the grains that we grow here. They are not native to here. Bison did not eat wheat, they eat the grass that grew here. So there's many things that we eat that are not native, but they've been around for so long, and we just think they're ordinary, locally grown produce, and it's not true. So if you look up tomatoes, you'll see they're actually native to southern Mexico and the northern part of South America, and they've been domesticated to grow in Canada and United States. Our grains have been domesticated, and then we further altered them so we can be proud and excited about them, like Canada #1 durum wheat, supposed to be the best in the world. Well, that came out over time of mixing different kinds of wheat together to get that one strong kernel. As a matter of fact, a few years ago, they found some wheat in one of the tombs in Egypt. They thought it was about 5,000 years old, so they took a few seeds, planted them, and they actually grew these tiny, tiny little wheat seeds and evaluated them for nutrition, found out they were really nutrient dense. Now we grow these big, huge crops of wheat. We look for big kernels of wheat, not as nutrient dense. But that's because they've been domesticated for here. So if you trace back our fruits and vegetables, practically everything that we eat today has been domesticated to grow in our environment, and now it's further being altered so it will grow in a different environment, mostly indoors, like in greenhouses, or in Vancouver here, parkades. They looked at how many spaces were being used in parkades, realized that there was about 30% of the parking spaces not being used, so they've actually taken the top 2 floors of a parkade, moved all the cars down and taken the top 2 floors, and they're making them into community gardens and growing areas so people can grow fruit, vegetables, not fruit, but mostly vegetables. So there's very few things. So let's think about what's native. Blueberries, Saskatoons, blackberries, strawberries. We have wild native, those are wild and native. Lonicera berry. So the berries that we use in Modexus are actually native to Canada. There's several different varieties that grow here in the wild. They were here before we were here. Bears love them. And the farm that actually we get the Modexus ingredient from grows different varieties, and they mix those varieties to get the best nutritional value and the least amount of sugar into the ingredient that we use in the Modexus product. So they're not GMO, they're actually native. So there's a few things that we eat, but we don't get wild strawberries. We don't get very many wild raspberries. It's a very short season, and the rest of the year we go to the store and we demand that they have these fruits and vegetables year round. So they've been altered, they've been changed, so we can do that. But they're so ordinary, right? GMO, genetically modified organisms, or generally made ordinary. They've been made ordinary over the years, altered, so we don't even think about it. We go buy it, and even if it's locally grown in the summertime, organic, well, if it didn't come from this country, it had to be altered so that we could grow it here. So there are some fruits and vegetables that are, there's one brand of apples, Ambrosia, that's native to Canada. All the rest, they're imported and they've been altered so they grow here. So we've been eating GMO for a long, long time, and nobody thought anything about it because it was ordinary till a few years ago with corn and soybeans, and all of a sudden it became this big concern, health concern about GMO foods. Is it possible to eat non-GMO? If you eliminated all the grains, all the vegetables out of your diet, that would be the best way to eat non-GMO. That for sure, you could eat non-GMO. So that is a diet. It's actually called the proper human diet, which is just beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. And there are people eating that diet. They're doing very well. I'm not giving you dietary advice here. We're just talking about GMO. So if you wanted to eat non-GMO, it is possible, but it's not, you're going to eliminate pretty much all the fruits and vegetables, except for things that are native, like I say, blueberries, Saskatoons, blackberries, some strawberries, raspberries, those kinds of things, Lonicera berry. So now you can win a trivia contest, because if you look up any of the fruits and vegetables and it says domesticated instead of genetically modified, if it says domesticated, it has been altered. We've been eating it for years. We're doing fine, and we'll do fine in the future. So enjoy your non-GMO Lonicera berry and your Modexus products, and have a great rest of the week.